Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Now we begin in Kaduna State, where concerns over insecurity continue to mount following the abductions of worshippers during a church service. Now, at least 177 worshippers have been abducted by gunmen in Kamin Wali Kajuri local government area of Kaduna State. Now, the attack occurred in the early hours of Sunday, January 18th, 2026, when armed men stormed churches during overnight services, forcing worshippers, including women, children, and the elderly, into the surrounding bushes. Now, chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in 19 northern states and the FCT, Joseph John Yahab, says security agencies were informed immediately after the incident, but later denied that the abduction occurred. Let's take a look at that video.
The reason why you are seeing figures flying today is because in the communication yesterday, in order to refute the story, there was a claim that, okay, if it really happened, show us the name. And before 5 a.m., the names were already flying everywhere.
So how many were
they? See, a lot of people were kidnapped. That's the truth about it.
Right.
So what we still keep discussing with government and security agencies is that let's not debate too much about number. Let's focus about were people kidnapped? Yes.
Yeah, but you have to know
were
the number in order to know how to rescue.
The numbers you also read earlier actually is a clear cut of the number. Because
163.
Yeah, because some had to escape and return. So these are the issues we keep trying to...
So at what point, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we've got to move on. At what point did you report the incident to the security agency?
See, the moment the incident happened, security agencies were informed. I think that's why we were a little bit worried and angry. How could security agents be informed and only to come out later and deny? How could security agencies even send a signal about this, which they know they do, and only to come out and say? So, you see, our very hard-working governor may probably have gotten the wrong information from them.
Right, but
they're ordinarily supposed to tell him, yes, we got this information.
But the security authorities say they, according to their statement, that they visited the area and found no evidence of an attack. So why is your account so different from that of the security agency?
That's the most unfortunate statement coming from them. And I really sympathize with Governor Uba, who is making effort to make things work, and just have such statements coming from people who ordinarily will say, okay, we have a clear information about this. Let's do something. But to say it never happened. I've asked questions several. I've even asked them, how did you come about even saying those things? I'll give you one example. The council chairman who came to say he was there, he was the first to even give us the figure. So we are also shocked to hear him publicly saying he didn't know about it. He was the first to come there and give us the right figure because we did not even have a figure. So, you see, so many things happen. That's why...
Released the names of those abducted, underscoring the scale of the incident and the impact on entire families, while initial police statements appeared to downplay the number of victims. Security agencies have since confirmed that a mass abduction did take place, sparking public outrage and renewed calls for improved rural security. On the same vein, kidnappers have demanded a deposit of 28.9 million for 17 motorcycles they allegedly lost during recent military operations as a condition for the release of over 166, or rather 177, kidnapped from the church, or rather community, in Kaduna State. And now, Sharon, we talked about this story. I just had to bring up this development. Now, apart from the fact that the security agency, the commissioner for police came out, commissioner for police in Kaduna State came out to refute that there was no kidnappings, and days later he now confirmed that there was actually a mass kidnap. And then now we're hearing that the kidnappers are demanding over 28.9 million naira for the vehicles that they lost during the attack, and that is more like a prerogative, what's it called, a prerogative for them to release the 177 people they kidnapped from the community in that state. And let me equally bring to our notice that I said it in the morning that this particular community actually raised up to 2.6 million naira just to rescue those that were abducted of recent. Your take?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Nigerians. And still on this particular matter, we had a discussion about this in the morning for Morning Pulse. And just to hear this update, it is really vexing. I'll use that word. It is. I agree. It is really vexing because tell me why just this morning we were discussing and even saying that we want to see more things like this as regards the combat that the Nigerian military had with these terrorists, right? And to see them, apprehend them more, and to confiscate their weapons and tools and machineries and all of that, only for me to come out and hear this afternoon that we are supposed to pay them. We're supposed to give them a certain amount, not even just a certain, 28.9 million naira, if I'm not mistaken, just so they can release over 100 people they kidnapped in church in Kaduna State, so that they can go and replace the motorcycles that the Nigerian military, they lost during that fight with the Nigerian military. It is what non-kinetic approach can do. It is the audacity. They've always been pampering these people. Now they feel spoiled. They have the audacity to come and tell you that, oh, we lost a certain amount of motorcycles during that battle. We want to and what is this? Let's establish what those motorcycles are used for. Used for abducting people. So now they want to go and restock. That's what it is. And in order for them to restock, they had to go kidnap other people. They had to go kidnap human community that they kidnapped before. Women, men, inclusive, over 100, so that they can have bargaining rights with the government. I hope the government can see what they've caused, what they've gotten us into. This is the result.
Now, Genevieve, good afternoon. I'm sorry that I didn't get to introduce you guys. I was really shocked with this new development. But yes, joining us in the studio, we have Genevieve. Please lend your voice to the course of this conversation.
Okay, good afternoon, Nigeria. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, it's really saddening. It's sad that we are coming into 2026 with this news. It did not end in 2025. It followed us to enter 2026. It's actually very sad. And I just like Sharon said, I want to point on it, the audacious strength that they have, you know, for you to say, the thing is, they didn't just stop at demanding for ransom. They went to add that they need a ransom to replace the vehicle. I think that's the one that put me off guard. Replace the vehicles that they lost. This is as a result of what I remember the news that we heard last year when they said if the bandits want to surrender, that they will welcome them with their full hands. They will welcome them and say, this is what is bringing. This is look at it. Look at what the government is doing, saying that they are not using the same force that these people are using. You're so subtle. Look at, imagine going to a place and taking up to over 100, and then the commissioner of Kaduna State, if I'm not mistaken, is saying, came out, you didn't even go and verify. You had to come out and tell people that it is a false alarm. The way we don't take things serious in this country,
he doesn't want people to panic.
Which the country is panicking. Everybody is already panicking. The worst you can do is to make sure you verify the information before you come out to give out anything.
And they tried to verify the information and they went to the scene of the event and they said they didn't say anything.
You can imagine.
So how can we even trust that they are capable of investigation?
Exactly.
You went to a scene of attack and you couldn't see any trace.
Exactly. I keep saying in Nigeria, lack of security planning, lack of equipment, lack of proper security personnel. They are not well trained. They don't even know what they are doing.
You could see the leader of one of the leaders of Khan Hayab coming out to say that these people were given information after this attack occurred. And how I am yet to understand, because I said in the morning that if they had come out to say, okay, we are yet to verify, but there was an attack, but we are yet to verify maybe the number of persons that were abducted, it would have sounded reasonable. You understand? But to come out after they have, you know, alarmed you guys, alerted you guys that people were abducted, just for you to come out in the public to say that there was no abduction, and days later you now confirmed. So it took you days to confirm.
Only God knows what is happening to those people.
And that's exactly, a lot of them I saw in the news, but reported by Punch, that a lot of the community members fled their residents, and some of them are staying with families. A lot of them even sustained injuries, and they are still in shock. And I'm just going to read out what I just saw right now on the breaking news, names of those people that were abducted. Families such as Jonathan household had 12 members kidnapped. The Amos family had 13 members kidnapped. Marcus Makodi had 10. Ishaya and Danisa 7 each. That is the families. These names that I'm calling are not statistics. These are people that were actually kidnapped. Now Danjuma and Musa 5 family, Bawa 6 family, and the list continues. Now they have come out to give a list of people that were kidnapped. I'm saying this because of the security agency or security commissioner, the police commissioner, that said there was no attack, but now has confirmed. In case he doesn't know the number of people that were kidnapped, this is the statistics of people that were, or data of people that were actually kidnapped. And I'm just going to ask, how long are we going to continue enabling these terrorists? Now this time they are more emboldened to come out to demand for 28.9 million naira for their motorcycles.
I'm having goosebumps right now.
So you are kind of how in the olden days there's this stuff they say, trade by barter. You are trying to trade people's lives for motorcycles.
It doesn't stop at just trading people's lives. It stops that when they get the motorcycles, they go on back again to one.
Definitely. Sharon said it here that the reason why they are demanding for these motorcycles is more like to plan, recruit more attacks on communities. And let's not forget that as a result of this insecurity, a number of Nigerians, tens and thousands of Nigerians, have left their community. Most of them are in IDP camps in Benue, who are not even properly taken care of. Remember when Riley Moore visited Nigeria and they cried on how we had over 600 people in IDP camps just in Benue State only. What about other states? And how long are we going to allow people's lives to be politicized? How long are we going to allow children that are supposed to be in school displaced? How long are we going to kill our own citizens, and our security agencies are sitting hands akimbo watching this whole crime go undetected? Now, but still talking about insecurity, let's move over from Kaduna State now to Abuja, where police in Abuja have arraigned 11 suspects in connection with the murder of Somto Chukwumaduagu on Arise News as an Arise News journalist and a security guard, Barnabas Danlami. The suspects were brought before a high court on 9 counts, including criminal conspiracy, armed robbery and murder. Now the incident occurred on September 29, 2025 at a residential apartment in Katampe Extension, where armed robbers reportedly invaded the premises in the early hours of the morning. During the attack, the security guard was shot dead, while Somto Chukwumaduagu is said to have died after falling from a building while attempting to escape. Now, the court has adjourned the case to February 2026 as investigations and legal proceedings continue. I'd love us to take a look at that video.
The reason why you are seeing figures flying today is because in the communication yesterday, in order to refute the story, there was a claim that, okay, if it really happened, show us the name. And before 5 a.m., the names were already flying everywhere.
So how many were
see, a lot of people were kidnapped. That's the truth about it.
Right.
So what we still keep discussing with government and security agencies is that let's not debate too much about number. Let's focus about were people kidnapped? Yes.
Yeah, but you have to know
Were
the
they in
number
good number?
in order to
yes.
know
The numbers
how to
you
rescue
also
them.
read earlier actually is a clear.
All right. I don't know if our media team can actually bring up that video, but if it's not there, we'll just talk about this story. Now, remember in September 29, 2025, the unfortunate incidents that happened in Abuja, which is supposed to be more like the central for security. We had a Rise journalist losing her lives in the unfortunate event of what's it called, an attack, what should I call it, armed robbery attack. And it is quite sad, but I think should I say kudos to the security operatives that finally arrested the perpetrators of this crime. But the question that Nigerians are asking since September 2025 till this date, we're just hearing that these people were arrested. So what does it mean that the security personnel, we are waiting for maybe more attacks to happen before they could actually apprehend these people? Or how long was this investigation, and how long was it, or did it take them to apprehend these people or arrest these people? I'll start with you, Sharon. Your take on this
Actually,
story.
I heard about their apprehension. It was actually 12 of them last year. When this story was still very hot, I heard about 12 of them being arrested, 12 suspects being arrested. So I'm surprised to hear 11 now. Maybe one of them has been vindicated. So during that period, they said that they were the ones who came to rob that particular building. Now, because of, I think why this case is going to be quite tricky, it is because they were indirectly responsible